senior play from the senior, Molly Hackett.
Tough serving. Free ball here for UNC Asheville.
Out wide to Rooks with the kill. 10-5 Asheville, and we have a timeout on the floor. We'll take a timeout as well, and we'll be back after this short break. 10-5 Asheville, you're watching the Big South Network on ESPN+.
Are they okay?
Whenever I do volleyball, my sinuses hurt.
I wonder what that's about.
It's a sport that needs more enthusiasm and excitement, so I kind of ask more of my vocal cords. It causes my sinuses to swell.
Really? I was going to ask you, is there something different about the air in Justice versus Kimmel?
Basketball is just more laid-back sport, believe it or not.
Really?
Because you may have like 3 moments that are significantly exciting. Like a huge dunk or like a big 3, right? The only kill is just a flex moment.
We're back live at the Justice Center. I'm Matt Stratley here with Derwin Williams. 10-5 Asheville. Timeout taken by Presbyterian as their first. They have one more for the first set. Bulldogs, their full allotment of 2. Back to serve is Molly Hackett. Timeouts are usually done to break the momentum, and I like having this conversation with you because you believe that they absolutely work.
Well, they did just then. Coach Borges, that was a great call because Molly's serving was really causing problems. She was hot, and that timeout cooled her right down.
Out wide. What a dig by Talbert. And no one there to back her up. That was a tough dig from Talbert after a really good serve.
Communication issues there for Presbyterian. There was plenty of time for a player to make a play on that second ball, and they were all looking at each other like, you do it.
West with the serve. Off the block.
Oh.
Just getting a piece of the block. I think Rooks was there otherwise.
Yeah, that was a very diggable ball, but unfortunately for the Bulldogs, that deflection off of the blocker threw that digger way off.
It's White right back to serve
Good
with the
serve.
ace.
That's about as nice of a short serve as you will see, Matt. The ball was floating and broke in the air and also dropped at about the 10-foot line. That's really a tough serve to deal with.
Set out wide for Rooks. The touch. And it's Braxton to dig it out. The touch.
Good discipline by Hackett. Didn't touch the net, just pushed it down with 3 or 4 fingers.
I was going to say, I counted 3 fingers on the ball, and instead of pushing the ball over and down, she just lightly touched it straight down. She'll be back to serve.
Kaylee's a senior, and she just does a lot of smart things.
Out wide. Rooks off the top of the block. Set out wide. Into the block. Borges is there.
Boy, Julia Borges was up in the air. She was over the top of the hitter then, and that's why it went right down on the court. That's a big block.
Hackett to serve. Floats long. 13-9, the Asheville lead.
Asheville can serve aggressively when they've got this kind of a point spread. Didn't pay off for them that time.
Cook down the line.
Oh, got Kaylee Hackett for going under the net, over the line.
13-10. Ooh, good scramble. Bulldogs able to get it back. Free play into the block. And now it's Presbyterian's turn to scramble. Rooks on the outside. Into the block. It's Chapman.
That was an impressive rally by both teams there, Matt. A lot of good defense.
West having to lean forward. Oh, tough miss. And one that you won't see out of Trinity Williams a lot.
Trinity got a little greedy there. Saw that ball coming over the net and tried to do too much with it.
Bulldogs a bit lucky. And Trinity, one of the super sophomores that make up this fantastic Presbyterian sophomore class. It'll be Rooks back to serve for the Bulldogs. Up 14-11, they have changed the scoring. They've gotten it right. Just over the net. Tried to go long. Oh, they're calling a tip.
Too bad for Asheville. That was a tough serve right on the line. Really good job by Presbyterian to handle that serve in any way.
Rooks is there. Short set, Loveday. Into the block. Borges again. Loveday was there to support as well.
You got the double bonus with Julia Borges. You got that right side attack, and you've also got a great leaper in front of the best attacker coming from the Blue Hose. So things go well with Julia Borges. Oh.
Smart play from Aaron Cook, the sophomore out of Davidson, North Carolina. Another one of those super sophomores we talked about.
And she did such a good job of disguising that dump. You could not tell until the very last second that she was going to dump that ball over.
Ulitz with the ace. Miscommunication between Bulldogs. And we have a timeout on the floor. We've seen a couple of miscommunications for each team, and it's been how they bounce back from that, Derwin. And when there's miscommunication, how is that handled within the team?
Well, first thing is you got to keep smiling at each other and believing in each other. You want to be as positive about that as you can.
And the second thing is you have to figure out where the breakdown happened and address it quickly.
Yeah, you don't see it so much at this level. We see it more at the high school level. But you know, as a coach, you want to say, hey, I'd rather see two of you bang your shoulders together, making that mistake, than two of you looking at each other.
15-14 Asheville as we're smack dab in the middle of the first set. A first set that feels fairly even. Bulldogs have been good on defense. Presbyterian has snuck a few over, both teams getting a couple sneaky points. And right now, who do you think has the advantage?
Well, I think that Presbyterian has the advantage right now, but I also think that Coach Santos just made a very, very good timeout call, and this was all about not letting the score get tied. He wanted to stop it before the score got tied, and that's a smart thing to do.
Is there something mental about once that score gets tied when you've been up 4 or 5?
Yes, absolutely. As a player, you know that. You see that and you know that. And it's a plus for the team that tied it, and it's a minus for the team that just got tied. That's why it's such a good timeout.
One timeout apiece left here in the first half. It'll be Ulitz back to serve, fresh off of her ace. Short for Stack with a kill! I'd love to argue with you that timeouts don't work, but I've got such little evidence.
Yeah, that's a deep sigh of relief there for Coach Santos.
16-14 with Borges to serve.
Probably a small sigh of relief.
Right.
That's probably a little dramatic. That's tight. There we go.
You were right, that was tight, ended in a joust to the net. Bulldogs coming away with the point.
Credit there from Molly Hackett. That's a smart play, how she played that. Very good. A lot of ways to screw that up, and she played it well.
Borges back. Good serve, diving short, out wide. Borges is there. Brilliant play by Lauren Talbert. Not being too greedy, being smart.
I don't think I've ever seen a college player who could play more hard-driven balls with hands up in the air like Julia Borges does. It just amazes me how she handles that.
Missing long. Ooh, good communication between Molly Hackett and Rooks.
Yeah,
at the
and
last moment.
That's something driving coaches crazy on the Blue Hose side. They did not need a service error then. They needed to serve in.
Here comes Molly Hackett with her serve. Handled well. Borges trying to get under it, unable to do so. And Lauren Talbert there, pinpoint accuracy, and she's back to serve.
Yeah, looking to the line judge, that was really close. Unfortunate for the Bulldogs. Touched that line.
For Rooks. Into the block and down. 19-16 Asheville.
It's not how high you jump when you block the ball. It's how far over the net you get your hands. And that time the Presbyterian blocked straight up and gave the ball space to fall down on the Blue Hose side of the court.
Casey West back to serve for the Bulldogs, up 19-16. Out wide. Borges is there. Wide for Rooks, off the fingertips of the block. What a fantastic stretch by Ulitz.
Just a missed swing by Trinity Williams. When the set comes from way behind you, the further it is behind you, the harder it is to hit the ball. That was a very difficult set, and Trinity probably needed just to be a little more conservative there.
Short set, tipped over. Rooks again. Braxton was there, smart play. Kept the Blue Hose alive, and Blue Hose come away with a point, 20-17.
Anna had already committed to she felt that ball was going to be tipped right in the heart of the court. She'd already made her move that way, and it broke back to the other side.
Rooks,
tight.
Tough pass. Blue Hose cutting into the Asheville lead, now down to 2.
Bulldogs need to score here.
Allie Wright back to serve. She's already got one service ace to her name. That brilliant short ball, there it is again. For Rooks.
There it is.
Oh, what a kill. Big play from the senior. Asheville, 3-point lead, and it's Kaylee Hackett to serve.
It's amazing to me that Asheville has 2 dominant left-handed hitters. That's unusual, and that's something that they need to exploit every time they can. Good dig.
Good dig from West for Burgess. What a good scramble job by Presbyterian. Loveday with the kill. And a timeout on the floor.
You know, Coach Santos got to be really pleased there. He had 2 hard-driven balls by Borges and I believe by Loveday, and 2 in a row. That just the consistency there. Presbyterian made a great play defensively. UNC Asheville came right back at them.
Bulldogs up 4 and the late portions of the first set, and what a fantastic set it's been, back and forth. Both teams have had spurts where they looked borderline unstoppable.
Presbyterian needs to get a little bit more from their blocking right now if they're going to be able to get back into this set. UNC Asheville is hitting the ball well, and I'm not seeing Presbyterian arms over the net.
It'll be the Bulldogs with the serve, up 4 points, and I think a smart timeout by Corinne Burgess. If it gets to 5, there's another kind of break point mentally at 5, where it feels like, especially this late in the set, 5 feels like such a large number.
There's a lot of argument in volleyball that you really want to go ahead and use your timeouts early. Different coaches have different philosophies about that.
Straight with the diving and dig out wide. Rooks. Oh, what a save by Ulitz. For Burgess, into the block. Ooh, dances out of the way. How did she do that? Like a scene from The Matrix.
Julia's her reflexes, her ability to react. She's a great athlete.
I'll just tell you this now. My body doesn't do that. Short set.
One-handed set.
Wide. Off the block. For Rooks. Just pushing it over. Braxton is there. Finding the line. Good angle from Williams.
Boy, I'm impressed with that one-handed set by Kaylee Hackett. That is a difficult skill. Very hard to do that without getting a call for bad hands, and she did great.
Cook to serve. For Burgess. Ooh, misses a wide. You can see the look on her face. She wants it back.
She's having a little down streak right now, and she's got to pick it back up.
23-20. Blue Hose with the last 2 points in a row. Cook to serve. For Rooks. Into the net. Tried to keep it alive. Did Cook. Unable to do so. 4 set points for the Bulldogs. And it'll be Rooks to serve. She's had a fantastic set.
See if she gets the green light to serve aggressively from Coach Santos.
She got
I vote yes. 4-point lead, go for it.
We'll see what happens. It looks very aggressive to me. Out wide. Rooks is there. Set for Borges. Into the block. Violation spotted. I guess a net violation. It'll be Presbyterian with the serve. They need to win 3 straight, and they've got Williams back to do it. Loud crowd inside the Justice Center. Floated for Rooks. Out wide for Hackett. Molly Hackett through the block! First set for the Bulldogs.
Molly Hackett delivered. She got the set, took the set on her shoulders. Good job.
First set goes to Asheville, 25-21. We'll take a short timeout. Back with second set action after this. You're watching the Big South Network on ESPN+. Justice Center. First set goes to Asheville. This Big South Network broadcast is brought to you in part by Geico. Big South alumni can save even more with an alumni discount at Geico. Geico.com/Big South today. Marriott, the official hotel partner of the Big South Conference and Sunbelt Rentals. We have equipment for that. Let's take a look at the conference standings coming into today. There's Sunbelt Rentals. They have equipment for that. They've done a great job. With the Sunbelt Rentals star of the game last night, Julia Borges was the winner of the Sunbelt Rentals star of the game, although Cecilia Stack with her .750 hitting percentage, that's absolutely outstanding. As you see, Bulldogs right in the middle of the pack, Presbyterian one step above them. Derwin, how important is it with only about 4 games after today to go of getting a good winning streak going into the tournament?
Well, obviously it's incredibly important. I think for Presbyterian, they want to stay in that top tier of 4 teams in the conference. This is a game today for Asheville that's going to keep them with a shot of being in that batch. So big match today. Stat that grabbed me, there were 3 service aces by Presbyterian, none by UNC Asheville, but that's a misleading statistic because even though they didn't get aces, there were several serves by UNC Asheville that disrupted the Presbyterian offense and eventually resulted in a Bulldog point.
It'll be Emily Braxton back to serve. The sophomore out of Willow Springs, North Carolina, starts us off in the second set. Loveday!
All starts with a pass. When you get the pass you need to your setter, you can run all kinds of stuff out of the middle.
Loveday back to serve. Bulldogs up 1-0 early second set action into the net. West back in, Loveday out. It'll be Lauren Talbert back to serve for the Blue Hose.
Hey, look, the Asheville team is doing the chicken dance when they make service errors.
Wide for Molly Hackett, off the top of the net. Good diving save from Ulitz. West with a diving dig. Brooks, Presbyterian with the free ball over on 2, and again, it's Aaron Cook, smart.
Pretty amazing how much of an angle she was able to do there. Pressed it down almost like a hard-driven ball, made it pretty much impossible to pick up.
2-1, Presbyterian takes the lead. Short set. This time it's Stack with the kill.
So Aaron Cook is a 5'11" setter, and that's what allows her to do what she did.
You got to do something special to get it by Ulitz, and that time Stack did just that. Borges to serve, all square at 2. Borges able to redirect it. The set, not exactly what you were wanting.
Presbyterian runs the slide successfully. I think that's the first time we've seen that from them.
Allie Wright back to serve. She's got a service ace tonight. Almost 2. Free ball for Presbyterian. Or is it? My goodness. What placement. Stack. Oh, fantastic dig. From the back line, Rooks gets the dig. Passes it. Hackett into the block. Asheville with the point. I needed that point to be over. I was running out of breath.
Nice swing by Molly Hackett. She cranks it down the line, catches the outside arm of the block. You got to have a lot of confidence in your ability to keep it in bounds when you swing like that. Good play by Molly.
Molly Hackett back to serve for the Bulldogs. Ulitz handles it well. End of the set into the middle. Borges somehow gets it back up, gets over the bench.
Now that's too bad that the court, the playable area is not bigger there because Julia Borges made such a nice dig and there was plenty of time for her teammate to get to the ball.
4-3 Presbyterian. Cook with the serve. Stack into the block. And Presbyterian redirects it. That's Chapman.
Big play by Hannah Chapman, a 6'1" junior from California. You got to look out for those California volleyball players.
2-point Presbyterian lead. Missing wide is Cook. Asheville cutting the lead back to 1. Casey West back to serve for the Bulldogs. Misplaced by Cairns. You could see just getting under it a little bit. Didn't get the touch she wanted on it. All square at 5.
Assistant coach from Presbyterian speaking a word into her ear after that play.
West with the ace. Asheville's first lead of the second set since it was 1-0. So that would make it their second. Let's not be like that, though. Oh, good pass. Molly Hackett with the dig out wide. Rooks. The jump. Oh, what a kill. My goodness, Trinity Williams.
When she gets the place that she wants to be and she gets a good set, she's probably hitting the ball as fast as anybody on the court, or like kind of tempo that Julia Borges can hit with.
Williams with the serve. Set. Williams with the dig. Into the middle. Williams into the block.
It is a tough play when you're a middle blocker and you're going against a back row attacker and you're the only block. It's difficult. Sometimes it's almost like you don't even want to try to block it because usually bad things happen.
Out wide for Rooks. Cairns is there. Excuse me, Ulitz. For Rooks again down the line. Missing wide. Presbyterian reestablishing their 2-point lead, and we have a timeout taken on the floor. We'll take a timeout as well. Presbyterian by 2 in the second set. You're watching the Big South Network on ESPN+. Halfway through the second set, I'm Matt Stratton here with Derwin Williams to get social with us and the rest of the Big South. Join the always growing network of Big South fans on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and more. You can also follow the conference source for game updates and on-site championship coverage via Twitter. That's at Big South Game Day. You can follow, watch, like, and share with the Big South Conference. I'm still learning to use Instagram. I'm what the kids call old. The kill from Loveday.
Matt, the last time we worked together, I was talking about how well UNC Asheville runs that little quick attack where there's a lot of distance between the setter and the middle hitter. It takes a lot of timing, but it is very difficult to block, and that's what just happened.
Good dig from Ulitz. Borges is there. Set out wide for Rooks. Off the fingertips of the block. Williams pushing it back into play. What a kill from Talbot. Whew.
Talbot's been relatively quiet at times so far this afternoon. If she can get turned on for Presbyterian, that's going to be huge for them. She's had some big games previously.
Ulitz with the serve. Into the middle for Borges, just tipping it over. Bit of a problem into the nets. Is right. Point goes to the Bulldogs. That's something Burgess has done. So this year, her ability to change tempo and find that pinpoint placement has been brilliant. It'll be Rooks to serve. Trying to pull Asheville even down the line. Set into the middle. For Burgess. Ooh. Great reflexes from Cook. Short set, off the block. Oh, I thought for sure Williams was going to figure out a way to contort her body to get to that when absolutely she shouldn't have. That was a ball that she shouldn't have gotten. She almost got it.
It's another case where UNC Asheville had 2 consecutive very, very hard, well-done attacks. Again, a sequence that will make Coach Santos very happy.
Wilkes misses long. Bulldogs pulled even for a moment, 10-9. Presbyterian. It'll be Braxton to serve. For Burgess. Oh my goodness, what a response. This time for Hackett. A net infraction on the fall from Hackett.
Blue Hose defender went into survival mode. you just put a foot on the line, you know it's coming, and you just hope, man, I hope I don't get hit in the face.
Braxton missing long. It's a 1-point Presbyterian lead.
We need to get a camera. I hope it doesn't happen, but we need to get a camera on the UNC Asheville bench on if the Bulldogs have another service error.
Set into the middle, into the block. Burgess was there. Presbyterian from the back line. Williams. For Burgess. What a fantastic dig. Set short. Stack.
Oh, my goodness.
How is Presbyterian getting there? They are. Oh, no. Burgess gets a hand on it. Loveday's there. Stack pushing it back over. Free play for Presbyterian.
That's great college volleyball right there, Matt.
What a point.
The thing about the slide is it changes the angle that you hit from, and it throws the defense. When you crank it back, it's just something about that angle change. It's really tough.
For Hackett down the line. What a dig by Talbert. Presbyterian, after that last point where they recovered so brilliantly, unable to do at that point, Bulldogs down 1.
Boy, the digging on the left side of the court has just been phenomenal. Kudos to Presbyterian.
Borges to serve.
It's over.
Oh, fantastic job by Wright. And it was also Cook for the block.
Takes so much timing to block a ball that is overpass. That's a phenomenal play.
Ooh, that dying ball again. Burgess is there. For Hackett, down the line, misses long. 3-point Presbyterian lead. Their largest lead of the night.
Asheville's going to need a timeout if they're not able to score here.
Good pass. Stack on the rotation. Over on 2. Batted back and forth. It's Hackett. Into the middle of the floor. It's Williams with the kill. Grace Volk coming in.
Maybe using some substitutions to slow things down a little bit.
Coming in, and Harley Middleton coming in as well. Burgess and Kaylee Hackett out. It was Volk's insertion into the lineup last season as a freshman that allowed Bulldogs to go on a double-digit run. Hackett into the block. Ooh, she was standing out when she played that. Into the block again. Stack is there. Hackett. Out wide. Into the block. Molly Hackett, Cecilia Stack, both there.
Great job on the double block by UNC Asheville and Stack. Cecilia Stack is involved in so many good double blocks. Good movement from her to the right side to close that gap. Shut the hitter down.
Anna Scrid looking to come in for Molly Hackett. And that's done. Bulldogs down 3 with the serve. Into the middle. And through 3 blockers is Williams.
I think that time Williams is just above the block.
Cook back to serve for the Blue Hose, up 4 midway through the second set. Volk passing back, pushed back into play by Middleton. Brooks, diving dig, unable to get there. Fantastic effort from Talbert just to get a hand on it. Nothing easy for the Bulldogs, even when they get the points. Feels like Presbyterian really being scrappy here in the second.
Key serve here by Casey West.
Bulldogs down 3. Short set, into the block. Out wide. West diving for it. Point goes to Presbyterian.
Well, Paige Cairns did a really good job of hitting the ball deep in the court, right at the line. Too much for the UNC Asheville back row to handle.
Williams with the serve. For Rooks, fantastic dig from Ulitz from the back line. Just over the net. What an angle from Middleton. We'll pretend like it was intentional. That's fine.
Matt, that was a awesome example of I'd rather be lucky than good. Catch the top of that net and roll down and drop in.
Kaylee Hackett back into the match along with Julia Loveday. Hackett back to serve. Great pass. Into the block and out. Fantastic attack from Talbot.
Madam, you're just getting too good.
Well, I learned what a good pass looks like from you.
3 and 3.
And it just felt right.
It was. That was a beauty.
Wide for Rooks. Whoa. What a job by Ulitz. And you can feel it. Talbert's starting to come on.
I am so impressed by Ulitz.
Nothing's getting by Ulitz and a timeout taken.
Great defender.
It'll be UNC Asheville's last timeout of the second set. It feels like the Bulldogs are having trouble finding the floor, and a lot of that has to do with Ulitz.
Yeah, it's frustrating when you hit 2 or 3 great balls and they just get dug up and it seems effortless. It kind of takes a toll on you. You have to really stay focused and say, all right, we're just going to keep doing it. Eventually things are going to break over there.
The job by Ulitz has been fantastic. Williams, her ability to get an arm on a ball that shouldn't be gotten to has been, to me, one of the most fantastic things about today. It's been an absolute pleasure to watch her play volleyball.
She has played very, very well. UNC Asheville, you can feel the kind of the dip in the hitting from UNC Asheville, and that combined with Ulyss's defense is why Asheville's 5 points behind right now after winning that first set.
Asheville did play not even 24 hours ago. It was a 3-set match. It wasn't one of the more grueling matches in the Big South.
Did the Blue Hose play last night? I'm assuming that they did.
I'll have to take a look.
Friday
looks
night's
like
a pretty regular
they
thing.
did. They went down to USC Upstate, and they won 3-1. And then Presbyterian came up here, and Charleston Southern went down to USC Upstate for today's matchup. So they just switched opponents. Set.
Miscommunication there. Costly for the Bulldogs. They had a chance to run a play, and something went awry there with communication.
Into the game is Carter Kennedy, the senior out of McKinney, Texas.
Borges needs to get involved again.
Wow. A touch from Loveday.
Very difficult set for Loveday. She did a great job of making something happen with a set that was almost directly behind her. That is tough.
Didn't she reach back to hit that, and almost like she saw the spot and then just pushed her hand through?
Just for her to do anything with that was really, really good. The setter had gotten placed in a tough spot.
Ooh, what a serve from Rooks. Missing long. Oh. Wow. Okay, very good, very good. The chair overrule. It was, in fact, long. It'll be a point for the Bulldogs. Such a close one. I don't know how. That's a tough one to let go. Rooks to serve again. Into the block. This time, a successful kill from Cairns. Presbyterian a 5-point lead. It'll be Braxton to serve.
Block not quite ready for UNC Asheville that time, and that cost the Bulldogs.
Braxton is ready.
Good serve.
Pushed out wide for Borges. The touch!
If you watch Julia Borges on that swing, she literally stopped her arm in mid-swing, changed her mind from a hard-driven ball to a trick shot or a trash shot. Again, just what she can see across the court while she's up in the air is amazing.
Loveday back to serve for the Bulldogs. The fact that, oh, what a block. Fantastic job by Cook. But the fact that Talbert, off balance, somehow got that back over the net when the set was not at all where she was expecting it. That was impressive to me. And the reason that Presbyterian came away with that point. 5-point Presbyterian lead. Brooks from the back line. Quick set. Diving dig from Kennedy.
Hit the antenna.
Point to Presbyterian. 23-17.
Asheville substituting, just trying to do something to disrupt here.
Peyton McLennan, the sophomore out of Louisville, Kentucky, into the game for the Bulldogs.
I expect an aggressive serve here.
Oh, you got it. Kennedy with the set for Burgess. Wow. If I made a case that Julia Burgess was the most athletic person on the, not only on the court, but maybe on the campus of UNC Asheville, would you argue with me?
Wow. I think that's a very good possibility. I'm sure there's some basketball players who might argue with you, but
that's just because basketball players like to argue. Missing long.
Ooh. All right, Asheville's got to serve in here.
23-19, Asheville down 4. It's Burgess to serve. Oh, good serve. Down the line, that in. Oh. Found the corner. And what a kill from Wright.
Now, Wright doesn't look like she's got a hand that far above the net, and she still just cranks it. Puts it right down the line.
Wright back to serve for the set. Into the block. It's Chapman and Cook, and the second set going to the Blue Hose. One set apiece. We're going to take a timeout. After this short break, we'll bring you third set action. You're watching the Big South Network on ESPN+.
I want it.
I can't believe it.
That car brought his karaoke machine.
Nothing but a heartache.
No, I can't believe how easy it was to save hundreds of dollars on my car insurance with Geico.
Tell me why I you say?
Go, Kevin. Go, Kevin.
Believe it, Geico could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Discover the new language of travel.
Bon voy.
Marriott Bonvoy. 30 hotel brands, endless experiences. Rewards reimagined.
Musco Lighting. We make it happen.
We dare to connect curiosity and critical thinking, opportunity and responsibility, imagination and impact. We expand horizons and have room for every voice. Our education is affordable, adaptive, and endlessly relevant because your future is a frontier, vast, bright, and close enough to touch. We are the only public liberal arts and sciences university in North Carolina, a campus of true originals. Come join us.
Academic excellence, experiential learning, NCAA Division I athletics, a spirited college experience. One place, Charleston, South Carolina. One very special college, Charleston Southern University, integrating faith in learning, leading, and serving. Visit charlestonsouthern.edu and get started today.
In between the second and the third set from the Justice Center on the campus of UNC Asheville. First set going to the Bulldogs, 25-21. Second set going to the Blue Hose, 25-19. If you're just tuning in, first off, we missed you. Second off, we've been having fun without you. Third off, we're looking forward to having fun in the third set with you. We'll be back after this short break. You're watching the Big South Network on ESPN+. Bulldogs, one set for the Blue Hose. I'm Matt Stratton here with Derwin Williams. And Derwin pouring over the first and second set stats. What are you seeing?
Well, one thing I see is a difference in performance by Trinity Williams. She had a pretty rough first set. She had a 0% hitting average with 3 kills and 3 kill errors, but much better in the second set, 8 kills and only 4 errors. So she was a part of the reason. And of course, Matt and I have both been pretty wowed by the play of Erin Ulitz for the Blue Hose. She's just been phenomenal defensively for Presbyterian.
It seems like Allie Wright, every time you needed a big point, she seemed to come through with either a big serve a big block. She's gotten a couple of fantastic kills. The one that comes to mind right away is when Wright went down the line to make it 24-19 Presbyterian when the Bulldogs had Burgess serving, looking to cut into that Presbyterian lead.
Another stat from the second set. Presbyterian had had three aces, service aces, and UNC Asheville just one, so a little bit of an advantage there for Presbyterian.
The substitutions to start the third set underway. Thanks for joining us on ESPN Plus, this Big South broadcast. 5 matches left, 4.5, I guess, for the Bulldogs. 2 away before they have their last 2 matches at home to finish out the regular season. It'll be Kaylee Hackett back to serve to start the third set for the Bulldogs. West, good pass. Burgess, the kill!
UNC Asheville needs for Julia Borges to turn back on for them. She had a lull during the second half of that second set. Start strong here. That's a good harbinger for UNC Asheville.
Narrowly over the net. Wide for Rooks. Off the block. Not much Borges could do. Presbyterian smothering the net. We're all square at 1.
Yeah, the set pulled her too far to the middle of the court. She could barely get to it and just tried to lift it over the net and was not able to do that.
Lawrence Albert back to serve for the Blue Hose. Burgess just missing.
Maybe trying to do too much, Matt. Maybe that was the time when she was looking so much over at the other side of the court, she kind of got jammed up.
Albert into the net, all square at 2. 2 uncharacteristic errors back-to-back by 2 players who are excellent. Maybe they wash out. We can pretend like neither one of them happened. I'm good with that.
That works.
2-2, it'll be Rooks to serve. Brilliance from Cook. She has a wonderfully wicked laugh whenever she catches them. And it makes me happy in my soul.
It's phenomenal for her to see that opposite corner open. Oh, now that was interesting.
All square at 3.
The Presbyterian players are getting a good chuckle out of that one.
She said she hit it with her wrist instead of, or well below where she wanted to.
Presbyterian players are going, sure you did.
Oh, what a diving dig from Kaylee Hackett. Out wide, Tatum. Dug out by Loveday. Molly Hackett has it blocked back. Bulldogs again, stack, missing long. Saying it's tipped. Oh no.
Again, the great dig by Presbyterian. They've had big digs in key moments. Seems like when UNC Asheville makes their biggest swing, that's when they've got the digger in exactly the right place.
Cook with the serve. 4-3 Presbyterian out wide for Molly Hackett, tipping it over. And now Williams getting into a groove, finding that seam and exploiting it. 5-3 Presbyterian. Our first look of the day at Lexi Cole, the true freshman out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. When Loveday was hurt, we saw a little bit more presence on the court from Cole. Borges from the back line just powers it through the block.
Yeah, she hit that ball like she was just determined to get it through there. She needs that. She needs to get a couple of good plays so she can feel the confidence coming back.
Asheville down 1, Borges to serve. Into the block. Molly Hackett with a big block. Cole there as well.
Yeah, Paige Cairns had to really hustle, chase that set down. It was sort of off the court. She got there, but wasn't able to do as much with it.
Borges to serve. All square at 5. Into the block. Cole was there. Missing long. I don't know about that.
But you know, in a situation like that, you just need to go ahead and play it if it's that close. What an angle.
Catching the line.
That was quite a cut from Talbert.
Trinity Williams back to continue her serve. Blue Hose by 2. Into the middle for Rooks. No Bulldogs there. Again, the weakness in the middle, and Talbert keeps exploiting. We have a timeout on the floor. We'll take a timeout as well. Presbyterian by 3. You're watching the Big South Network on ESPN+. Midway through the third set, 8-5, Presbyterian with the lead. Bulldogs took the timeout, trying to break the momentum. 3 straight for the Blue Hose. As Trinity Williams back to continue her serve. Lexi Cole into the game, the freshman, earning some playing time. Out wide, Molly Hackett missing well long.
Molly just got underneath that ball, floated it out.
Cole.
Keep a hand on top. Coach Peterson's telling her right now, using her hand and showing her, get that hand on top of the ball. Reach and snap.
Oh, Cole, the freshman with the smart play. 3-point Presbyterian lead. That's Cole's first kill of the day. Grid in, McClinton out.
I've seen Lexi come in and play some good volleyball this season.
Scrid with the serve. Testing the line. Ooh. Lauren Talbert starting to feel it. And if she gets rolling, it's going to be a different ballgame.
They got to give UNC Asheville's got to give her some more hands above the net there. I think they're saying that Kaylee Hackett's back touched the net. It was really close. Kaylee didn't think so.
Ulitz back to serve. Off the block. Borges diving. Out wide, Rooks trying the angle. Ulitz there. Down the line, missing. Something we don't say a lot about Talbert. Just getting under it a touch.
Now she was looking at the official. I guess she was looking to see if she got a touch.
West back to serve. Bulldogs down 4.
Ooh, that was impressive.
And it's Talbert with the kill.
Boy, they went to her either 2 or 3 times very closely together, really expecting her to carry the load on that play, and she did.
Back to serve is Braxton. The Rooks, the touch, the senior gets the point.
That was a tough sequence for Rooks. She had to pass the ball close to the back line and then come all the way up to the front row to hit. Setter has a lot of confidence in her to feed her the ball back like that, and she delivered.
Kaylee Hackett to serve. Into the middle, off the fingertips. (13-8) Presbyterian. Talbert to serve.
Well, I'm amazed by how much they want to get the ball to that sophomore.
For Rooks, again trying to use touch. West. Skridge is playing it over. Free ball. Ooh, read it that time well by UNC. Double hit spotted. And that time Cook trying to go over onto Bulldogs read it.
Just watching Eulitz in the previous sequence, she read that dump over like a book.
Rooks back to serve for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs down 4. West.
Coach Santos trying to understand what exactly that line judge or that referee saw.
It'll be right back to serve. Presbyterian up 5. Set for Borges. You could tell there was some anger behind that. My goodness.
We get a replay here. Watch where the ball hits the court. Right at the 10-foot line.
Good Lord.
The angle that she hit that ball, best of the afternoon by far.
Loveday back to serve for the Bulldogs. Miscommunication, the ace.
You know, when a player hits a ball like Borges did, that's demoralizing. It sticks with you when you're on the other side of the net. So Asheville can really use that.
Loveday to continue her serve. Trying to cut it over the net, finding the top of the net. Service error gives the ball back to Presbyterian. And it's Cook back to serve. Ace from Cook. You've got to be sure if you're going to let it go, especially when you're down by 5.
And it's so hard when that ball's coming at you shoulder high.
But Cook cuts the ball so well, and it dives right at the end. Borges, the touch. The senior.
And she set herself up with that, Matt, on the previous sequence when she put the ball down so hard. On that play, the Presbyterian players had to respect that, and then she just laid it on the floor. That's her at her best.
4-point Presbyterian lead. Burgess looking to cut into it. Out wide. Missing.
Trinity wants a touch, and she got it.
Absolutely not, though. That just didn't happen.
Wait. The down ref says she didn't see a touch. Coach Santos is going, who saw the touch? The net
Officials
violation?
saying that it's Williams to serve. Over on 2. Borges sliding in, set out wide. Molly Hackett into the block. Battle at the net. Still going. Set short for Cole, who tips it over. Burgess is there. Out wide, Molly Hackett into the block. Presbyterian finds a way.
Great job on the right side of that Presbyterian defense. They closed that block so well. Made it difficult for UNC Asheville to get it through.
(18-12) Presbyterian. Into the block.
There's Lauren Talbert shining as a blocker, and all the momentum is on the right side of the court.
Timeout taken by the Bulldogs. I don't see what they saw when they said that there was a
net violation.
I don't get it. And then they said that the tip. I mean, I can't see, and that's possible. I may need to go in for my annual evaluation, get the old eyes checked, but I'm just not seeing these things. Maybe I'm getting old. That happens. 19-12 Presbyterian. So let's say, regardless of whether the call is right or wrong, that's something that as a team you have to play through. How do you, if you're coaching, how do you, even if you feel like you're wrong, it doesn't matter at this point, does it? You have to tell them this is what we have and this is what we have to deal with.
Sure. I mean, you gotta move them forward. You got to get the focus on the next ball. Unless there's some way to, anger can be a good thing. There was a ball a couple of plays ago you talked about Borges maybe getting some anger into a hit, and that can be a good thing. But if it gets paralyzing.
Yeah, some athletes do better when they're angry. Vast majority, I feel like, need to harness that energy instead of letting it out. Like, there's very few McEnroes and Connors in the world.
We could have a lot of discussion about the zone at this point, man. If your anger puts you into the zone,
yes.
Plus, if your anger takes you above and out of the zone, then not good.
19-12, big lead for Presbyterian halfway through the third set. We'll see how the Bulldogs respond. Wide for Middleton into the game. From the back line, the block is Cole. Volk is there.
Boy, I don't know how Talbot kept that ball
I don't either.
But she did.
That was fantastic.
It didn't look like it had that much topspin on it, but it dropped pretty quickly.
I didn't think there was, honestly, the way she hit it, I didn't think it was going to stay in, and then it did, and it wasn't that close. It was fantastic. Talbert again, into the block. Cole and Hackett there for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that time Talbot was too far off the net to get a good swing at it. Fortunately for UNC Asheville.
Skrid back to serve for the Bulldogs. Wide. The kill for Middleton. Her first kill of the day. The freshman out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. 2 freshmen on the court right now for the Bulldogs. Down 6. It's Skrid to continue her serve. West is there. Set short, Cole. The block from Cole. 5-point game. Skrid to continue her serve. Skrid unable to contain it. Fantastic kill from Talbert. Her night continues.
She made a perfect shot for the corner. I mean, it was headed right for the corner of the court.
It's Talbert's 12th kill of the afternoon. Somehow, great scramble. Set back. Clinton again, Middleton again. For Rooks, bit off the net. Volk is there. Skrid with the set. Into the net. 4 hits spotted. It'll be point for the Blue Hose, 22-15.
Middleton went to the set, changed her mind. She was thinking about driving the ball, then decided just to try to make an easy shot.
Tough set for Cole. Great dig from Skrid. Short set, Cole having to push it back. And now that is a fantastic kill from Wright.
Boy, Wright she's an interesting player. She doesn't hit the ball that high, but she still finds a spot with the ball. Her hand is not high when she hits it. She still seems to hit it with tempo.
Hewlett serving into the net. Bulldogs needed a break. They're probably going to need a couple more. Down 7. Late set portions of the third set. West back to serve. Off the block. Talbert stealing the point for the Blue Hose, and it's set point, and it will be for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, Talbert, she's feeling the force. A lot of smiles from her right now. She's just getting the balls she's hitting are just moving really well for her.
Off the block. Joust at the net. Out wide for Rooks. Off the block. Asheville eliminating 1 set point. 7 more they'll face in a row. Volk out. Back in is Kaylee Hackett.
Julia Borges is back on the court too.
Bulldogs need to rattle off 7 straight. Short set off the fingertips of the block. Skrid for Rooks. Missing long.
Well, Lauren Talbert decides to go for broke on that ball. They've got a big lead, so that wasn't necessarily a bad choice. Asheville's got to be error-free. Presbyterian can make a few errors still and win the set.
Hackett to serve. For Rooks. Man, I'm telling you, Hewlett's is everywhere. And that'll be the third set. Presbyterian leads 2 sets to 1. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back with 4th set action after this short break. You're watching the Big South Network on ESPN+. Fantastic third set from Presbyterian. They lead the Bulldogs 2-1. We're getting ready for fourth set action. Marriott, the official hotel partner of the Big South Conference. For the best rates, book directly with the Marriott by heading to BigSouthSports.com, BigSouthSports.com/Marriott, and you will support Big South student athletes in the process. That's BigSouthSports.com/Marriott. Also, the Big South Store, the best variety of officially licensed merchandise in conference and school branded items. BigSouthStore.com. Gear up with some new apparel or find that perfect gift. Derwin, I know you've been looking for a gift for me. Holidays are coming up. BigSouthStore.com for all your game day fun. First set going to Asheville, 25-21. Second set, Presbyterian took 25-19, 25-18. The third set for Presbyterian. Bulldogs, we'll see how they respond in the fourth set.
You know, Matt, in some ways, Presbyterian's offensive attack is one-dimensional in that they only go to Trinity Williams and Lauren Talbert. If the Bulldogs can find a way to get hands in front of those two players more often, that's going to have an impact on what they can do. Asheville's more spread around to Ansley Rooks, Julia Loveday, Julia Borges, Molly Hackett, all have several kills. Julia Borges had 10 in that last set, hitting 227.
We're underway in the fourth set out wide for Molly Hackett. Pushed over, diving from Kaylee. Molly, miss hit. 1-0 Presbyterian. It'll be Chapman to serve.
Again, the toughest set you get is behind you, and you can't do more than your skill allows. Got to keep the ball in play.
The big kill from Wright.
Wright did have 4 kills in set number 3. 1 error.
Chapman missing long. She's got an interesting serve, does Chapman, almost swiping across the ball. Everyone has their own style.
As a coach, what you like is when your players serve differently, so that every time you've got a different look coming from your servers.
Diving big, still trying to get a hand on it, unable to do so. And I tell you, Talbert is continuing her run of fantastic play.
She's the player right now that I think is in the flow the most on the court. She just can't seem to make a mistake.
Free ball for Presbyterian into the block, but it's out. Presbyterian seems like can't place a foot wrong right now.
The blockers have got to keep your shoulders square to the net. If you turn towards the hitter, that makes the ball go out of bounds.
Set back for Borges.
Okay, we have a new hit of the night, of the afternoon. It was that one. That one hit at about 12 feet. That was dominant.
Did you hear the court when it hit the ground? The court said,
oh, you were waiting to say that, weren't you?
I was. I've never heard a court groan before. That was unbelievable. And fighting through the block is Wright. Finding a way. 5-2 Presbyterian.
And Wright's ability to find a way to get around the block one way or the other. She just keeps doing it.
A lift spotted.
What are we doing here?
I mean, that I didn't see that at all. But
that's a tough call. I was trying to figure out whether they called it on the offense or the defense there.
It seems like every time Asheville just about thinks about getting some momentum, there's a call that you're just not quite sure about.
A lot of rules have changed through the years, but if one that hasn't changed is the official has to make a judgment about whether the ball, quote, comes to rest while the player is playing the ball, and that is a difficult decision for an official.
On the back line, Borges. Missing long. Timeout taken by Asheville. We'll take a timeout as well. It's 8-2. You're watching the Big South Network on ESPN+. Back at the Justice Center, 8-2 Asheville, 15 points for Lauren Talbert. It feels like she is the impact player of the game. My early choice for Sunbelt Reynolds star of the game. Into the block. Stack is there.
At that time, the UNC Asheville blockers turn the ball back to the middle of the court. And a very effective double block for UNC Asheville.
Skrid into the game for the Bulldogs. Into the middle. Finding space. Boy, you can't turn Trinity Williams back twice in a row. It's just not possible.
Trinity, and then also with Talbert. She passed that ball falling back. Her coach is looking at her, fussing at her form right now. She had terrible form and the pass was right on the money. She's just, I told you at the break, she's playing out of her mind right now.
Set. Smacked back across the middle of the court. Double hit spotted. Asheville with the point. It'll be West to serve. The ace. Bulldogs need to continue with West's 10-point serves. Down 4. I mean, that's Euless. Her ability to get the ball into a playable area is fantastic, and Borges is stretching out. And she's up. Round of applause. 10-5 Presbyterian lead.
It gets very quiet in here when there's a possibility of Julia Borges getting injured.
Oh, absolutely. Brooks. Did you see that? My goodness. Did you see the ball dive at the end?
Yeah, and she didn't hit the ball. Her hand was not high when she hit the ball, so yeah.
What? That's such a phenomenal shot. I am a huge Talbert fan. Off the block. Bit of a miscommunication. Out wide, Talbert. West is there. What a shot from Rooks. Behind her back. She has the ball, the pass is coming from behind her. She has to swing. That's such a tough play.
There are times when Asheville is getting the set they need to the setter, and they're just not getting the attack they need. They've got, when they get good balls, they've got to attack them, and they've got to make the ball go down.
Back for Burgess. The touch. 2-point run for the Bulldogs. They've chipped the 6-point lead down to 4. Here's Hackett. Diving dig by Hackett for Rooks. The block. Brilliantly played
needs to
back
score
in.
here. They need to score here.
And they do. Just as Loveday finding the ground in front of Williams, and I'd say about 80% of me thought Williams got it back. Three-point game. Kaylee Hackett, the senior, back to serve. Brooks is there for Burgess. Big swing.
Asheville needs to get better set when their setter's not getting the contact and it's going to another player. Their balls that are coming over almost like a free ball situation. They need their secondary setters to do a better job.
Burgess in the back line. How did she make a play on that?
That's just a good play. Really, she just hit it right between two people with a lot of top spin.
9-12. Molly Hackett taking the place of Scrid. It's Ansley Rooks, the senior, back to serve. Bulldogs down 3. Into the net. Braxton back to serve. Braxton has a service technique. Well, if you'll watch this. Oh, no, she threw it up more traditionally there. Ooh, goodness. Loveday.
Coach Julia Loveday did a good job of chasing that set down and doing something good with the ball. Credit goes to her.
Loveday back to serve. Bulldogs down 3. Chapman. Oh, Borges off her arm.
Right again. She's so unorthodox and so effective.
Back to service Talbert. From the back line. Good dig by Talbot. Into the block. And outs.
Wow, Trinity Williams able to hit the ball so hard that it went off the blocker's hands and all the way off the other side of the court.
5-point Presbyterian lead. Talbert. Good set for Burgess.
Oh, my goodness. Well, that's the tie between the last two.
Ooh. When Burgess gets this set, oh, my goodness.
That was awesome.
Burgess serving down 4. Ooh, tough get.
Okay.
Play from Stack.
I held my breath, Matt, the choice there that she made, but then there was so much open space there, it turned out to be a really smart decision.
3-point Asheville deficit. It'll be Borges to serve. Good pass.
That's 4. That's 4. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, I did not see a touch there. I was waiting for that 4 call.
Timeout taken by Presbyterian. And I think the reason for the delay is both of the officials wanted to look to make sure there wasn't a touch. The communication was had, then they made the call. That was fun, just watching real time the communication of the officials.
Yeah, that guy up on the chair, he always is responsible. He's got the final decision, and he's always looking to his other, the down ref and the line judges before he makes his final call.
Bulldogs down 2. They've been down as many as 6. A good run, and Presbyterian taking the timeout. Both teams have one timeout for the remainder of the fourth set. Bulldogs haven't gone 4 sets in the Kimmel Arena. Many times they beat North Carolina A&T in the fourth set with 3-1. Now that they've dropped 2 to Presbyterian, they'd have to go 5, and the Bulldogs have never gone 5 sets in the in the Justice Center this season.
Wow. Yeah, you were telling me before the match that the trend this year has been matches have been 3-0, 3-1. Not a lot of
there's been one
long matches.
One 5-set match, and that was a 3-2 loss to Long Beach State back at the end of August. In one of the 2 tournaments, the Georgia Invitational, I believe. I know the Georgia Tech Invitational. Oh, Bulldogs, don't be too mad at me. Oh, what a diving save from West. My goodness, Hackett. The kill! My goodness, West.
Casey West gets a big hug from her teammates. That was a pretty spectacular dig.
Oh my goodness. Borges serving. Bulldogs trying to pull even. Ooh, from the back line. For Hackett. The angle, diving dig from Ulitz. Burgess with the diving dig. What a dig by Ulitz. Hackett with the dig. Burgess. What a point this has been. West out wide for Burgess. She'll push it back down the line. The kill! Trinity Williams ends one of the most impressive points I've watched in a very long time.
Great play by both teams there.
That pulls the Bulldogs level if Presbyterian loses. That's a huge point. Wide. Into the middle of the floor. Into the net. Bulldogs pull back within 1.
Well, the good thing there for UNC Asheville is that Talbert has been so hot, and it's first error she's made that I can remember. So if she gets into a lull now, that would be a big plus for Asheville.
Scrid back to serve. What a dig. That'll land out. 2 points. Blue Hose lead. Trinity Williams coming up big for Presbyterian.
She can crank it. She's got a lot of arm speed.
Aaron Cook back to serve. A good serve it is.
Wow.
For Rooks, down the line, the kill! Presbyterians scrap to get that back to prolong the point. Really impressive.
That is a very difficult hit for a left-handed hitter on the left side to hit it down the line like that. That's impressive.
West to serve. Into the middle, off the block. Scrid with the set for Rooks. Diving from Ulitz. And it's Williams with the kill. Every time it looks like the Bulldogs might pull even, Williams slams the door shut.
I like the way Trinity Williams, she wants the ball.
Brooks missing down the line. 19-16 Presbyterian.
And a timeout here.
Bulldogs take their final timeout. This late in the set, especially when you're down 2-1, if it gets any wider than 3, then all Presbyterian has to do is trade points.
Yeah, it's going to be critical for Asheville to come out of this timeout and get a couple of points.
Trinity Williams, I think it's such an emotional moment if the Bulldogs can pull back even, that Trinity Williams slamming the door shut not once but twice is huge.
I don't really know how to communicate it, but you can tell that she wants the ball at a critical point in a rally. She wants it to come to her. She wants to have the chance to make the big swing, and she's delivered here in the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Fantastic job by Presbyterian. Slipped a little bit, but at the vital moments, really coming through and maintaining control of this vital fourth set. If it goes to 5, anything can happen.
Erin Ulitz continues to be such a factor in this match. It's not just the spectacular digs that she makes, it's where she places the ball off of those digs. Very, very, very good ball control by Erin Ulitz.
It'll be Trinity Williams, the sophomore out of Anderson, South Carolina, back to serve. Blue Hose by 3. Over on 2, Williams diving save. Free ball for Asheville. Back set, pushed through the middle. Again, Williams diving save. Can they get to it? They cannot. But my goodness, Williams keeping the ball alive. 2-point game. It'll be Kaylee Hackett, the senior, back to serve. 19-17, Blue Hose up. Down the line, Strid gets her a dig. Burgess, the touch. Pinpoint accuracy from the senior, and it's a 1-point game.
Again, Julia Borges needs the confidence of that kill to build on here.
Hackett trying to pull the Bulldogs even. Down the line. Vital kill. That time it's Karen's coming up big. Ulitz back to serve. Burgess off the block. Miscommunication. One-point game. It'll be Rooks to serve. 2019 Blue Hose.
Boy, ball control is so critical right now. Errors. The team that makes the least errors here is going to take this set.
Back set. Through the block. Finds a way. Karen's 2 huge kills, preventing the Bulldogs from pulling even. 21-19 Blue Hose.
She's a freshman.
Braxton back to serve. Set for Burgess. My goodness.
Well, when it's too much for Erin Ulitz to handle, you know there's a lot of heat.
Yeah, Ulitz is one of the best players defensively I've seen, and if she can't handle it, then it wasn't meant to be handled. The block! Cecilia Stack pulls the Bulldogs even. Timeout taken by Presbyterian. Nobody has any timeouts left. 21 all. Derwin, let's enjoy some volleyball.
It's been a great set.
It's been a fantastic set. Last night against Charleston Southern, the Bulldogs, the first 2 sets were just such back and forth affairs. It took 2 chai lattes to get my voice right for today. Today's matchup, they haven't been towards the end as nervous affairs until this 4th set. Finally, we get what I like to call nervous volleyball.
I'm just impressed by how sophisticated your voice is. It's the using lattes as a tool.
Yeah, well, I like them, and so we'll just call it a tool.
Yeah.
When in reality, it's just a business write-off. It's all it is.
Business write-off.
Sure, why not?
I'm so glad to know that that's an option.
Fingers crossed that the IRS didn't spring for the ESPN Plus package. We'll, I'm sure, find out come April.
You know, Matt, in some ways, all the statistics kind of work out here in the Asheville and Presbyterian are right together in the conference standings, and they're right together here with a very even match.
It's been an absolute blast to watch. Thanks for sharing it with us as we're having a absolute, what a fantastic way to spend your Saturday. Love day serving. Set into the middle, in the block. Again, off the block, diving dig for Borges. Oh, Cook is there. Bulldogs will run the play for Borges. Off the block, pushed it back over again. Able to run the play they want for Borges again. The kill!
Borges swings one time, and then she asked for the ball again. You could see her yelling for the second set, and the kill that you just saw in the replay, another dominant spike by Julia Borges.
Loveday back to serve, 22-21. The ace! Oh my goodness, they're saying that didn't hit the ground, but it's a stack makes it official. You know what? I should never doubt Ulitz. I should never doubt Ulitz. Of course she dug that, because she would dig that.
Now credit goes to Celia Stack then for keeping her focus when she could have kind of dropped away because that ball was questionable about whether it was dug or not. She stayed on it.
When in doubt, Ulitz always dug the ball. First, Borges into the block. Four-point run for the Bulldogs through a timeout. Bulldogs serving for the fourth set. Loveday to serve. Gets hit. Oh, what a fantastic placement. Borges down the line. Ulitz gets a hand on it. The fourth set goes to the Bulldogs. We're going 5, Derwin.
What a tremendous sequence of plays for UNC Asheville. The last 4 points have been the best rallies of the night, or the best offensive production of the night for UNC Asheville, and it could not have come at a better time.
We'll take a timeout, bring you fifth set action after this short break. You're watching Big South Network on ESPN+. Two sets apiece. We're going to the fifth set. Trusty Center, Bulldogs, Presbyterian. Matt Stradley here with Derwin Williams. What a fantastic afternoon of volleyball. Thanks for sharing it with us. We have some great news for Big South fans. Not only are we bringing you a fifth set, but Big South alumni could save even more on Geico Car Insurance with a special discount. Visit geico.com/Big South for a free quote today. That's geico.com/Big South for a free quote today. Now, I know you're excited about the fifth set. I'm excited about the fifth set. Derwin's excited about the fifth set. Everyone's excited about the fifth set. So if you want to wait to go to geico.com/Big South till after the fifth set, we understand.
We understand, but if you did that, or if you don't do that, you will miss the play of Julia Borges.
Oh, man.
Julia Borges had 20 kills in set number 4. Again, that's 20 kills for Julia Borges, and she just came alive and took control of that set during the last 5 points. Hit 368. In the prior sets this afternoon, she's been in the 200s, so she just broke out, had a breakout set in set 4. Ansley Rooks had 10. Nothing changing offensively for Presbyterian in terms of who they're going to. It's still Lauren Talbert, Trinity Williams. They each had 16 kills in set number 4.
As we are preparing for the 5th set, just a few seconds left. A couple of reminders. If you need to be refreshed like I did, because I have not broadcast a 5-set match this season. Can you believe that? It goes all the way back to the Big South tournament I broadcast last season, the last time I saw a 5-set match. 5th set, only 2:15. Media timeout at 8, or the first called timeout. Both teams do get 2 timeouts, even though it's a shortened set. Win by 2. Let's sit back and relax and have some fun.
What I think about, Matt, is when you got a 25-point set, if a team gets 3 or 4 points ahead, it's doable. If you get 3 or 4 points ahead in this 15-point set,
right,
you're in trouble. So starting fast is critical. We'll see which of these two teams, Asheville or Presbyterian, starts fast. You got to be on the second that first serve crosses the net.
The Presbyterian has been leading from the front the last 3 sets. In the 5th set, because it's shortened, what I'm hearing you say is the Bulldogs can't afford to do that.
Yeah, you cannot. You cannot get down.
Sunbelt Reynolds star of the game still up for grabs. It's Kaylee Hackett to open us up here in the 4th set. Miscommunication, but somehow, some way, Talbert gets it back. Burgess into the net.
I'm not sure that went over the top.
I don't think it did.
She may have tried to hit it down too much. It's so hot from set number 4.
Talbert saving that point. Set back. Rooks down the line, off the block. We're all square at 1.
That's a senior play right there. She's right-handed, hitting on the right side of the net, moving to the set. Smart hit.
Rooks. The ace. 2-1.
Check that, Matt. I meant to say she's left-handed.
I think we all knew what you meant. I was there with you. When you were talking about earlier that Asheville had a luxury of 2 great left-handed hitters, she is one of the 2 that you were referencing. Into the middle. What a kill from Williams. Evens us up at 2. Right, back to serve. Right. Fantastic server.
2 aces in the last set.
Set for Burgess. Blocked well, dug out wide. Molly Hackett catching the line. Nervous looks at the officials. Ooh. 3-2.
Found that corner. You can find that corner, you can hit it that deep.
Loveday to serve. Great pass. Into the block for Burgess. Oh, wow. Talbert with the dig. For Williams. Oh. She finds a way. Oh! What a dig by Talbert, and Williams just finding that spot.
Boy, Asheville missed their libero then. Casey West, she just came back in the lineup. They needed her then.
Cook to serve. All square at 3 down the line. Oh, that went off.
Okay. It was a tough pass for Kaylee Hackett to handle. She's got to recover here.
The kill. I was going to say, that looked to me like it didn't go off the block. It looked like it went into the net, and then they called it. And I was caught up. Okay.
Molly Hackett's she's been solid.
Borges to serve, all square at 4.
Didn't make many hitting errors.
Out wide, Williams through the block with a kill. 18 kills for Williams now.
She's really come on. She hit 250 in the last set, 16 kills.
Set, stack into the block. It's Talbert with a block. 6'4" Blue Hose.
Talbert and 6'1" Hannah Chapman. They had that slide well covered in the right spot.
Williams to serve. Brooks into the net. Big lead now on a shortened set for Presbyterian. We have a timeout. We'll take a timeout as well. 7-4 Presbyterian in the 5th set. You're watching the Big South Network on ESPN+. 7-4 Presbyterian halfway through the 5th set. It's been a fantastic day of volleyball. I'm Matt Stradley here with Derwin Williams. Williams down the line for Hackett. Oh gosh, what a dig. The set on the slide. Williams is there. West the dig. Set, back line, Burgess, the kill!
Bulldogs relying on Julia Borges, and that time she shoulders that yoke well.
21 kills today. Scrid back to serve. Bulldogs down 2. Into the block. Cairns does just enough to get it done. Big hit from the freshman. And we switch sides at 8. Three-point Presbyterian lead. 8-5, halfway home, switching sides. It'll be Ulitz, who is quickly becoming my favorite player. Back to serve.
She's been a huge factor this afternoon. Consistent. She's consistently making great digs, and it's not, as I said earlier, it's not just that she's getting the ball up in the air. It's a lot of times she's turning those digs into pretty decent passes.
Oh, bad pass. Joust to the net. Presbyterian gets it. Wright is there. Big 4-point lead for the Blue Hose. Bulldogs needed a break, they got one. Casey West back to serve for the Bulldogs. Down 3. And the abbreviated 5th set, only playing to 15. West to serve. Tips the net. Out wide, down the line, Burgess gets the dig. Finds the back corner. Kaylee Hackett, the senior move. So a 2-point game, 9-7 Presbyterian. West to continue her serve. Burgess with the dig. Free ball. Burgess blocks it back. For Rooks. Off the block. What a play by Ansley Rooks. And a timeout taken by Presbyterian. Because if you're going to give up that lead, I think in the first set, didn't Coach Santos do the same thing to hold on to that lead? And it worked.
Yeah, they want to come out of this timeout not being tied, not being behind, but being ahead. That's what this is all about.
If you are the Presbyterian coach, if you're Corinne Burgess, what are you saying to your team right now?
I don't know. I think she may be telling them jokes, honestly, Matt. Sometimes there's a limit about how much you can accomplish tactically in the huddle. She's probably just telling them to stay settled down.
If you're the Bulldogs coach, same thing. Deep in the fifth set, you're on a 3-point run. Keep doing what you're doing. Crowd, a raucous one here in the Justice Center. Presbyterian traveling really well up the mountain to Asheville, North Carolina. And they've been treated to a fantastic game.
So Hewlett's key player here. Borges, key player here. Can Talbot get a big swing? Didn't then.
Brooks is there. Burgess in the back line. Oh, what a dig by Cook.
Asheville needs to score here.
Set out wide, pushed back through the middle. Off the block, Brooks is there. Into the net goes the block. Big point goes to Presbyterian. It'll be Braxton to serve. For Rooks. Braxton's there. Down the line, Burgess. What a dig. Rooks. Over on 2, Burgess gets the dig. West pops it up. Rooks in the back line. Over on 2, West is there. Bulldogs have a chance to run a play. The tip. Oh, Loveday!
A lot of credit goes to Casey West on that play, anticipating where the trash was coming from and giving her team a chance to score. Great play by Casey West in the back row.
Kaylee Hackett to serve, trying to pull the Bulldogs even. Bit of miscommunication. Grid out wide. Burgess tries to kill it, does kill it! Hewlett's, the fact that she got a dig on it, even though it wasn't one that she could control.
It's like a shootout of the OK Corral.
It really is.
Between Julia Borges and Aaron.
Back to serve, Hackett.
Oh, that was a great serve.
Free ball for the Bulldogs. Set into the middle, Burgess pushing into the middle. Well read by Talbot. Rooks off the block. Out wide, double hit spotted. And a timeout taken by Presbyterian. 11-10, Asheville has their first lead in the fifth set. And I'm going to need 2 more chai lattes, I believe. What a fantastic match.
Really like Asheville's intensity right now, Matt. They're very, very focused. I don't think I think they pushed over into being too tight. They're playing this critical part. They're playing it very well right now. So fun to watch Julia Borges and Aaron Hewlett square off on both sides of the net. That was really awesome.
And Hewlett's just giving no space to Borges, trying to be exactly where Borges wants to hit it. And Hewlett's is such a fantastic player that she's gotten back balls that I honestly didn't think were possible. Like, I've seen a little bit of volleyball. Ulitz has surprised me several times, and that's.
Do you remember that ball she passed right here just a couple plays ago? That would have been a service ace 90 times out of 100.
Absolutely.
And she somehow, and again, it's not just that she gets a hand on the ball, she kept it in play.
It's to do something with it.
Amazing defender.
Kaylee Hackett, the senior, Bulldogs up 11-10. Braxton.
Oh.
The kill from right. Very direct pass.
I think that ball came off of the block, and that's what made it unplayable for Kaylee.
Talbert back to serve, all square at 11. West, short set. The kill! It's Loveday!
Matt, that was the right time for Loveday to connect with the setter on that middle attack split between left side and center. Perfect play for UNC Asheville.
Brooks back to serve. Bulldogs up 1, 12-11. For Burgess. The kill! Two-point Asheville lead, 13-11. Brooks back to serve. The block! It's Loveday! 3 match points for the Bulldogs.
One big play after another for UNC Asheville.
Brooks to serve. Diving. Over on 2. Oh, West is there. Set. Burgess into the block. Oh, what a fantastic job from Trinity Williams.
Probably the 2 players on the court who can touch the highest mark in a vertical jump, squaring off there.
That was such an exciting moment. I want another. Dugout, diving, set. Hackett from the back line into the block. Set for Burgess. Pushing it to the back line, missing long.
So Julia Borges having to work with a set that's off the net. Asheville's going to take the timeout as she missed that deep shot.
Timeout taken by the Bulldogs, and that's the last timeout. Bulldogs have one more match point. And I have maybe a couple more points left in me before my voice stands up and walks out. What a fantastic match this has been. At this moment, if you're the Bulldogs, what are you talking about? Are you trying to set up that last play?
Well, Coach Santos probably, he knows what rotation they're in. They yes is the answer. If they Matt, that's assuming that they get a ball over the net that they can set up a play.
Sure.
And that's going to, and that's so complicated because you got a server that's got to serve in. So,
and Allie Wright is a fantastic server too, and she's got that tricky little ball that drops right at the 10-foot line. She'll be back to serve for Presbyterian in a point they need to have. It all comes down to this. If this were baseball, I'd call it a payoff pitch. For Burgess, into the block! They ran the play they wanted, and it was Chapman who turned around Burgess.
Asheville has got to get their setter closer to the net.
Set out wide, Hackett with the kill!
Boy, Molly Hackett has been so steady, hitting the ball, and again.
Loveday back to serve for the match.
Fans on their feet.
Ooh, tough serve. Miscommunication, and the Bulldogs take it. What a 5-set match. And if I'm being honest, I wanted to see another one of those jousts, but I'm sure Coach Santos will take it any way that it happens.
Yeah, that's a tough way for Presbyterian to lose. With some errors on their side of the court. Asheville played so well, Matt, the last half of this set. Just played so well. They're very excited, and they should be. A lot of ice water in their veins, a lot of intensity.
Julia Borges, your Hardy's star of the game. Your Sunbelt Reynolds star of the game. Your every star of the game. 23 kills tonight, Derwin. The 5-set victory for the Bulldogs. So for Derwin Williams, I am Matt Stradley saying so long from the Justice Center. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.